pop culture news, as he said, Roger Ebert gave up on getting his PhD to be a film critic. Really? I didn't know that. I did not. I genuinely didn't know that. Although I try to know as little as possible about that dude. Um, because my Christ, his reviews they're all over the place, but they're consistently terrible. They're consistently terrible / entertaining due to how bad they are.
Hold on, Mason. Let me correct you. Roger Ebert gave up on being a film critic, and it was pretty early in his career.
Damn. He gave up getting his PhD so that he could give up on being a film critic.
But he didn't want to stop doing it. He just gave up.
No, yeah, he gave up. It was an emotional
detached
surrender.
Almost immediately.
It's so easy to make movie reviews. This is just how I assume he talks. It's so easy to make movie reviews. You do a couple good ones, and then you just fucking fart all over the movie industry for 70 years or whatever the fuck.
I wish that was an optimal occupation these days.
You read a couple good movie reviews. They let you write about whatever you want. I wrote about boners in like 8 of my reviews.
It pisses me off that entire occupation started and ended essentially in this man's career span. And he was the best they had. He would be destroyed had he survived 10 years later, and that career still survived 10 years later. I feel like people would be like, that was really for like 80 years? That was the dude who did this?
That would be like if rock and roll music was completely dead and no one made it and no one played it anymore. And then we were reflecting on it and we were like, yeah, it's kind of fucked that the best rock and roll artist there was Nickelback.
No, exactly, though. And another thing, had this dude survived and been even an iota as popular as people claimed he was, had he survived another 10 years, cancel culture would have been up his ass.
Oh, I know.
Like, the dude sucked. Oh, my God.
You know, I don't know why, just as a non sequitur, I was going to start this stream with saying one of us was going to get irreverently angry about something, but you're not going to know who it is or what it is, and I kind of wish I said that now.
Wait, that could probably go in the front of like any podcast of ours, though.
Yeah, dude. Okay. Speaking of podcasts, hello everybody. Welcome to the Thunder Lighting Podcast. I'm Thunder.
And I'm angry. No, I'm Lightning.
And I'm the Angry Whopper from Burger King. But yes, this is our normal podcast where we talk about our week, talk about pop culture news, and we are doing it over Zoom. And with that, I'm going to throw it over to Chris to talk about how his week has been.
Oh, it's been fantastic. So, 3 people in my house currently have COVID. Both my parents and both my grandmothers have COVID. One of my grandmothers.
3 of those 4 people are in your house.
Yes, one of my grandmothers is here so that she doesn't get my grandfather sick, and somehow I keep showing up negative. I keep going through periods of feeling weird and then feeling okay. I just don't know if it's in my head at this point or what.
Right. Yeah, that's what's tough.
I keep testing negative. Pauline keeps testing negative. So we're rolling with it. Today was a weird day. I just didn't feel good until we started doing this. Like I've been feeling fine since we've been doing this. Maybe I've been keeping my mind off of all this shit. Maybe that's.
Yeah, I mean that might be proof enough that you're fine and it's like somewhat in your head.
Yeah. It's been weird. It's been very weird. But besides that, what's been going on? Just really Been writing a lot of music, been doing really good with, been doing very well with that. I've been thinking of stuff for me and Pauline's book, um, which kind of had to take a back seat for a while, but like I'm trying to integrate it back into our, stuff that we do.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, just thinking of stuff for this channel, which has been doing phenomenal. It's been growing really well. We're at
Yeah.
104. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
actually yeah, it's yeah.
which is cool. And the YouTube channel is going really well, which is awesome. So, as far as my social media life is going, it's very well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just been a rough week. Um,
How's school through all this?
as understanding as they can be. I got an email from school that was literally like, "Why don't you just stay home?"
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they.
Oh, but then you're fully missing classes, or you're watching them online?
Well, I was able to do one online. I missed 2 out of my 3 this week, which kind of sucked. But
Yeah.
the professors all seemed cool with it. Also, I have a letter from the school's COVID team saying, "Why don't you just stay the hell away from the campuses?"
Got it.
And they were straight up like, "We know you don't have it right now, but like, you're probably gonna get it." And I was like, "Gee, thanks." I mean, they don't know my specific situation where like I can go about my daily life without interfering with anybody upstairs, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I need
Right.
it.
I mean, yeah, fact of the matter is, and this is what sucks about this thing, I mean, among a lot of things, but as safe as you're being, at the end of the day, there's COVID in your house.
Yeah.
And there's no getting around that
Yeah.
in the eye of the, COVID health professionals.
Right. I did have one thing, a funny thing happened to me that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
So I might even have to like cut away camera wise. You should still be able to hear me if like we get into this, but I'll explain to you what it is first.
Okay.
So, the band's been doing a couple shows and like we've been getting more followers and whatnot on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And like most of these people, I don't know because that's how it works, like people
Right.
find you and they like you and they follow you. But all of our personal Instagrams are linked to the band Instagram, which I'm fine with, especially if somebody wants to get in touch with us and get in touch with us quick. Um, but so somebody either followed me and then the band, or the band then me, and both accounts got the same message. It was just, "Hey, new message. Um, how's it going?" or something like that. And it was the craziest I'm still not certain if I was speaking to a bot or someone trying to scam me, but I had
Oh
the
yeah.
most crazy interaction with this entity that I've ever had with one of these, and I'd really like to share it on here if I can.
Yeah, go for it if you can.
All right. Also worth mentioning, this entity still follows me and the band, so whatever.
Oh, hey, what? Not the most important thing, but it says Cheryl's iPhone again.
Oh, every time it's a new call, it does that.
Oh, okay,
I'll
interesting.
fix it. No, now you
No,
brought
no,
it.
don't waste.
Oh,
No, just do the. Okay.
bitch. God, now I gotta do this.
You don't have to. I specifically asked
What
you
a
not to.
what a
People aren't even gonna see it.
what a piece of shit.
Why did you get Oh, wow. that cut off perfectly on stream.
Oh, I need to see it.
Also, your image froze, but I'm sure that's because you're reading
Yeah.
an Instagram post.
You can still hear me?
I can still hear you just fine, and all we see is thunder.
Oh, good. 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 I'm I'm happy for you.
I refuse to reveal what the other word is.
Okay, so here we go. So this is the messages that I get immediately. Hey, how are you doing? I always respond like I'm a bot as well. I don't know why. I just I keep it as like professional as possible when I get into these situations. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I respond with hello, comma, I'm doing well. How are you? And she responds back, and this is like, oh, I can't show the camera. She's like, let me try and describe her. In like older woman, I would say 50s or 60s, but she looks hip. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
She's like, she's fit. She's got like some fashiony clothes, a fashion hair. Like she looks hip. She looks cool. So, just because her dialect, I the what she looks like is important for the story. I promise.
Okay.
So she responds in a very old womany way. She says, I'm fine, dear. New message. I'm Allie by name. New message. Do you mind? I know you. And I was like, all right, here.
Okay. That last one sounds like a robot for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yes, I agree. I agree. I said, okay, Allie, I don't mind. Just because I didn't know what to say. And she said, so what's your name? which
What?
if you which if you follow me on Instagram is not that big of a mystery to solve.
Okay.
If you're trying to find out what my name is, it's not exactly hiding it. Just for context. Uh
Yeah.
if you found me, and you know, it's pretty easy to figure out who you found. I said, I'm starting to think you're a bot, Allie, with a sweat smile emoji.
Okay.
And she responds with lol, new message, I'm not dear, new message, I'm just fast while typing, new message, do you mind, I know your name. To which I respond, may I ask why you're so determined to know? She responds, I'm sorry if you feel somehow, new message, I only want to make friends, that's all, new message.
I'm sorry if you feel somehow.
And then new message, I only want to make friends, that's all, new message, I am a loner, new message, is that fine? So now I'm like, okay, this is a bot. i'm gonna try
Yeah.
I'm gonna try uh fucking with the algorithm.
Oh
I
yeah,
want to
you gotta. You
Oh yeah,
gotta.
I was like, I want to see if I can beat the bot.
Yeah.
So I respond with where are you from, Allie? uh To which Allie responds, I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona, but currently in Toronto for work. New message, what about you? New message, where are you from? To which I responded, no offense, Allie. Can't tell if you're a bot, but I'm not comfortable giving this info to someone I don't know. I think I'm going to have to stop here. Sorry. To which Allie responded, I understand you. New message, no problem. I would do the same. Now, I step away from Instagram. I'm pretty sure Allie also steps away from Instagram.
Oh no.
About about an hour or two later, I get a new message. Hey, wave emoji. Want to be my sugar baby and get $500 twice a week? And how old are you? Two question marks. Um, to which I responded, which you do need a little bit of context for this. You know John Plunkett, right? He
Yeah.
he's the drummer for my band. For those who don't know, and like we're good friends. He's been on the channel a few times.
Yeah.
He and I will do this thing every now and then where we'll just turn into 50s greasers, and
Okay.
that's how we'll communicate with each other. So the other night, before one of our shows, he and Pauline and I were in the car, and he just says, he was like, "You excited to play some rock and roll for the kids?" And I was like, "Yeah, I hope they go shoo wop shoo wop." And to which he responded, "Yeah, maybe there'll be some backstage honeys or something. Just we're just being silly."
Right.
But I was like, this is perfect memeable stuff to respond to send to John. Also, Pauline came up with backstage hunkies, which I thought was perfect, the male equivalent to
Nice.
backstage honeys. So to this message, I responded, "Gee whiz, comma, maybe you could be my backstage honey." Just because I wanted to send it to John, and I did, and I said, "Hey, John, I think I'm getting myself a backstage honey." To which he responded, "Ooh, golly gee, good job, buddy." Uh, so completely. By the way, did not message me back for a solid like 10 minutes after I sent that, which really made me think that this wasn't a bot. Because I was sitting there with Pauline's with me, by the way, the whole time I'm sending these, and I was like, "Oh shit, they didn't respond." I was just like, "Oh fuck, I think this might be a real person." They saw my stupid ass message and didn't know how to respond to it. And then I get another response completely ignoring my message, and what it says is, "It's just your online attention, someone I can talk to anytime, like an assistant. Once in a while, you can help me run some errands like booking flights, sending an email, anything you're doing for me. I'll pay you beforehand. If you're really interested, I offer a weekly allowance of 500." To which I responded with, "Why refer to that as a sugar baby?" And I follow up with, "Really seems like a nice way to start a sexual harassment suit right off the bat." Still hearing me?
Yep.
To which Allie responded, "No, I'm being serious about this, just to be my text buddy and keep me company. No sex chat or nudes, because that's clearly what I was worried about. And not asking you to pay any fees to take care and spoil rotten with allowances," which that sentence got away from this bot.
Yeah, that's
To which I responded, "I'm married. I am not comfortable with that. Sorry. I think I'm done here." To which Allie responded with, "I AIIT. I
oh, I thought you got cut off. I thought you were saying like I and then a T word and you got cut off. I was like, "Oh no, his worst like his fears have been answered. The Zoom call cut off." No, she just said I.
Yeah." Which, if I can remind you, so she started the call with her going,
With yeah,
"Oh yeah,
hello dear.
Gary, yeah." She just ends with "I," which to me I was like, okay, it was a real person, and they just wanted to let me know at the end, like, "All right, you son of a bitch, I'm done. I'm not playing with you anymore."
No, there's no way that was a real person.
Why? That was that was the most crazy bot I've ever spoken to. Then
Yeah, that I'm not gonna pretend like I know how those work or are programmed, but that one seems like it might be bad or malfunctioning
or it's
or
learning self consciousness, like
it's
it's
or yeah
becoming
or
its own person.
it's a neural net processor or a learning computer and it's learning like the worst parts of like it was originally like programmed to be an old like motherly type like oh don't worry I'm old but also cool and then it's just turned into whatever I just had to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but like I thought that was worth mentioning. This
No, yeah, that was great. Those are always great.
I just couldn't believe I couldn't believe it didn't stop either, because like it really seemed like the algorithm had a stopping point where I was like, "Hey, I'm not into this," and it was like, "Oh yeah, 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 no, 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 I get it, whatever."
Well, I think you said because you said you're not into it, and then she was like, she kept going. I think you, I think there's got to be actual trigger words that like tells the bot like, oh, just stop trying. And I think it was probably you mentioning that you were married
Ah, yeah,
because that's like a no matter what they said to convince you know the I'm sure what they're thinking the stupid person on the other end of the line to like give them their credit card info or whatever they're trying to get out of it. You said a hard count. You hard countered that with, well, what if I was a married individual? And they were
right.
like, oh, never mind. On to the next sucker.
Yeah, because clearly um the gag, or whatever you want to call it, was this is an attractive older woman, and that's
Right.
the selling point. And as much as they're pretending like that's not what she, because that was what got me too, is she was like, no, it's just an online thing. You're just going to do emails for me and stuff. But like, if you want nudes, it's like, okay, I didn't ask for any of that.
Right.
It's just weird. So, needless to say, I didn't get a backstage honey, but she did
Damn.
message the band message. So, and I even sent text John. I said, listen, if you want to try, she did, she
Oh
did
my God.
message the band,
I've
to
got to
which
know if he does.
he didn't respond to me. I think he was just think he was done with Allie, and I don't blame him. I was done with Allie too. That was probably the most fun I had all week.
Nice.
Yeah, how was your week?
My week was uh fine. I there's okay. So I want to mention if you listen to our last podcast, I did watch another Indian cinema movie. I talked about it on the Elvis episode of our Cinematic Relief podcast. So go check that out if you want to know what I thought of Bahubali. That's not what the episode's on. It's on Elvis. But and then I also wanted to mention, because I don't think by the time we do another video game podcast, I'm probably not going to be able to talk about this. But I wanted to talk briefly about this video game I've been playing. It's called Immortality. It was one of the games that and by we I mean I think it was just me and a few people in chat. We saw during one of the we saw it during like Gamescom opening night or whatever, and we were just like, what the fuck is that? That was weird. It's free on Game Pass. I downloaded it. I don't want to spoil literally anything about it. But it's essentially a murder mystery about this woman, a fictional woman, who tried to be a movie star 3 times throughout her career, and it never played out for whatever reason. The first movie she was in '68 was canceled. The second movie she was in 1971 was canceled midway through because there was a fatal accident on set. And then 30 years later, in 1999, she tried to make another movie. That one also never released. She goes missing. And then in 2020, all the footage they filmed for these 3 movies reappears, and the video game is you going through the footage trying to figure out what happened to her.
That's pretty crazy. That's a cool concept. Obviously not real.
Right. None of it's real.
Wow.
But there is a lot of, this game's like fucking with me in like the coolest ways, because there's the game is called Immortality, right? But when you turn the game on, the title of the game is Marissa Marcel, recreation of her 3 movies or something like that. And then as soon as you hit start, the main menu starts over, and this time it says Immortality. And then the 3 movies that she's in, because I looked her up on IMDb to see if she was in anything else, and she hasn't been, but she does have 4 credits on IMDb: the video game Immortality, and then the 3 fake movies she's in.
That's creepy.
Someone went out of their way to put these fake movies up on IMDb.
So wait, is this a real person or no?
What do you mean?
Who the game is based on?
Yeah, the failed movies that this fictional movie star never released in fiction.
But the movie's fictional.
Yes.
That's weird that but they're able to give her an IMDb?
Well, this is why it's confusing. There's an actress playing Marissa Marcel. Her name's Manon Gage. Manon Gage is a real person in our dimension. She's playing Marissa Marcel, and a person who never got a chance to be an actress, who tried to make 3 fake movies, but they're real within the fiction of the game, but not, you can't like go watch them in real life, but you can go look at their IMDb page as if they were real movies.
Okay.
So that's
it's some like Blair Witch Project shit. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's that's the thing. I didn't expect this video game to be scary. I just thought, because Sam Barlow, the guy who made it, his name's Sam Barlow. He's made other games that I've played, and they're sort of like this, but like this is his best game by far. And I've been playing this game with my parents, and it's one of those games where we reached the credits and we got an achievement that said you did it. You figured out what happened to her. But then we were like, we have to keep playing. Like, we found out exactly what happened to her, but we don't know the why or the how, and we don't know what, and there's just some weird stuff that goes on in that game. And after stream today, my parents and I are going to sit down and attempt to 100% it, because we just have to. They still haven't revealed the, like, and this is what was happening.
Gotcha.
Which is why I wasn't satisfied with getting the credits in this game, because when I got to the end of the other two games, I had, one, got an ending, but two, I'd also, like, figured it out. There was a moment where I was like, oh, everything makes sense now. Like, if I were to play this game again, I'd have new context. I still don't know what the fuck is happening in this game.
Is it a streamable game, would you say?
Yes, but, like, if we do stream it, I'd know I'd know everything about it. It'd probably be like
right. Me playing.
It'd probably be you playing and me keeping my mouth shut about spoilers and stuff.
This sounds like a fun game. I'd give it a go.
It's cool, and if anyone's interested, it's free on Game Pass. I don't know how much it costs if you actually buy it, but it's not on Switch. I think it's just Xbox and PlayStation. But yeah, I just wanted to. I had to mention that because it's like all that's on my mind. I wanted to share if you couldn't tell already, my week was boring and I didn't really do anything. But I wanted to share something I learned this week that just tickled me so thoroughly. So, Chris, are you familiar with the movie Bring It On?
Is that one of those dance movies?
No, that's Step Up.
Oh.
Bring It On is a cheerleading movie.
Okay. I kind of categorize that in the same, but yeah.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry. They all start with Bring It On, so it's hard to. There's 7 Bring It On films.
That's too.
Well, yes, it's entirely too many. I just want to share with you what I learned, because I think it's so funny, and I'm going to be redundant and repetitive, but it's to prove a point later. So, Bring It On releases in the year 2000. It stars Kirsten Dunst and Elijah Dushku, and it was directed by the guy who directed the Ant-Man movies. It's a teen comedy about cheerleading, right?
Sure.
Then 4 years later, the sequel comes out, Bring It On Again. Bring It On Again stars none of the people from the first movie, and it was written by the people who wrote Brightburn.
Wait, Guns?
Yes, yeah. Brian and Matt Gunn.
Okay.
Then, in 2006, 2 years later, we have Bring It On All or Nothing. Once again, it's a cheerleading teen comedy film. This one stars Hayden Panettiere and Solange Knowles-Smith, so a few actually known names. It's not just a bunch of nobodies. Then in 2007, only a year later, we have Bring It On In It to Win It, which is once again an American cheerleading team comedy film. This one stars Ashley Benson and Ashley and Jennifer Tisdale. Then in 2009, we have Bring It On Fight to the Finish, which is a American teen comedy film about cheerleading starring no names I recognized. Then 8 full years later, in 2017,
yes,
we have Bring It On Worldwide Cheer Smack. It is not a comedy. It is just a cheerleading movie. Okay? We've dropped all the comedic elements.
They're not fucking around in this one.
They're not fucking around. It's a worldwide cheer smack.
I get it. I hear you.
And it's got Vivica A. Fox in it for some reason. Then,
yes,
a week from now, Bring It On Cheer or Die is a 2022 American made-for-television Halloween-themed slasher film. Set to debut on Sci-Fi on October 8th. So the 7th and most recent canonical entry in the Bring It On series is a horror film where all the cheerleaders get killed by, I'm assuming, a serial killer.
They Fast and Furious themselves.
They did.
They
Yeah. No,
changed.
you
They changed genres.
right at the end though.
Yeah,
Right at the end. Like
but like over the course of 20 years.
oh, I know. And then this is only slightly related, but it was kind of in the same info dump of exploring this Wikipedia page, and this tickled me so thoroughly. In 2011, and all the way until 2018, it looks like, there was a musical on Broadway. It was called Bring It On the Musical. It is the first Broadway musical to feature a transgender high school character, and the music was written and produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who did Hamilton and Moana.
That's cool.
Why? It's just so... What is this
Well,
series?
why did they get the guns to make the third film?
Why did? Yeah, if you go to... Hold on. Yeah, let's go to Brian and Mark Gunn.
And then never again. They got like the best director ever, and then never again.
Yeah, Brian Gunn, as far as I can tell, has made 7 movies. One of them was Brightburn. One of them was Bring It On Again. One of them was the shitty Dwayne Johnson-led Journey to the Center of the Earth sequel, and then the rest are things I've never heard of.
Oh, so this James wasn't on the project.
No, it's just Brian and Mark.
Oh, but they're the ones who wrote Brightburn.
Yes.
Interesting. I thought James produced
Brightburn. What happened?
James just produced Brightburn.
Yes, James.
Okay.
Brightburn was Brian and Mark's idea, and James was like, "I love this so much, I'm gonna put my name on it so people actually see it." No offense, cousins.
Right.
And then they did, and it was incredible.
Cool.
But not as incredible as Bring It On Again, starring Who Gives a Shit.
Oh man.
Also, the first one, the only one that anyone cares about, was directed by the guy who did Ant-Man, and the other 2 Ant-Man movies. Also, something interesting that I noticed, like 0 cameos from anyone from the original Bring It On movie. Like, as far as I can tell, the original Bring It On movie is a cult classic and everyone loves it. And then they made a bunch of shitty, made-for-TV sequels, right? No, 0 cameos. The series continues into the 2020s, and 0 cameos from Kirsten Dunst or Elijah Dushku or anyone in that first movie.
Well, I really think what you're forgetting is it's all about money. And
right.
And I think they just wanted to get the hottest no names they could find and put them on the screen and make a movie, and then quickly try and write another excuse to make another one.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're exactly right. It's just interesting to me. And it's interesting to me that, Elijah Dushku, Kirsten Dunst, very famous for their own rights, but they're obviously from whenever someone thinks about Kirsten Dunst, they think about Spider-Man. And whenever someone thinks about Elijah Dushku, they think about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? But I'd argue that the most famous person to come out of these movies, other than Rihanna, who had a cameo in one of them, is Hayden Panettiere, who was the star of the third one, who is just in fucking everything now. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, that's my week. I didn't fucking do anything. We have to end this Zoom call and start it back up real quick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that. And that's me doing that. Chris is gone. If you're watching live, or on YouTube, Chris is not on camera right now because Zoom has been doing this thing where you can only have one-on-one Zoom meetings for 40 minutes. And it's not 40 minutes a day. It's not 40 minutes a week. It's just 40 minutes. So as long as you have one, and then you stop it and start a new one, you're good, and you can keep going, which is what we've been doing. And it's been working, and we haven't gotten yelled at or in trouble or talked to or whatever. And now we're back.
Yeah.
So, pop culture news time. There's sort of a big one, but it's already sort of been talked about on this channel.
Has it? I've got a big one. I don't know if it's what you're referring to.
I'm referring to Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine.
I so I actually have a different one. So why don't we? I feel like we're going to talk about these two a lot. Why don't we just
Okay.
stick with these two?
Okay. Do you want to start with Wolverine since I already mentioned it?
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm not gonna get angry. I promise. And I didn't get angry in my video. I tried to make a point to like stay calm and like I tried to. I don't know if you watched it. I don't know if
yeah. No, you did a
I
good job.
I don't know if I succeeded, but I was trying to give up the point of like, even though I don't like this, I'm not like angry about it. Um, no, but what we're talking about, if you didn't see, there was a Deadpool 3 trailer. I guess it was like a trailer for about Deadpool 3, but not for the actual movie, where they revealed that Hugh Jackman is going to play Wolverine again for the last time question mark in Deadpool 3, which this honestly, the more I think about this trailer, this probably pissed me off more than anything. They said coming soon, which, you know, they didn't, but we can talk about that later. And then they dropped a date, and the date is literally 2 full years from now.
Yeah, that's
What
not
the, what the, you and I talk all the time about that shit.
well.
Like, at least there's a date, but
Yeah,
like, in no reality is 9/6/24 soon.
no, just because you have a date doesn't automatically make it soon.
Right.
And I feel like that's become, and honestly, I kind of blame the gaming community for this, but like,
Industry.
yeah, what did I say? Community. Yeah,
Community.
I meant industry. It really feels like just be happy there's a date announced, and like since there's a date, we're gonna say it soon because it could
Right.
be not at all. And it's like,
Right.
not that doesn't mean soon. That
Right.
that means way down the line in the phase we're gonna get a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Especially when they're popping out 3 times a year. It's like, okay, well that's not soon. I've got like 9 movies and 6 TV shows to get through before the
Oh, I know.
Deadpool movie comes out.
Yeah.
Um, I have one theory that I haven't heard anybody, including you, talk about, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on this.
Okay.
What if they fully understand and see your point of view in their responses? Well, this is Wolverine from Deadpool's universe, and we're gonna get the Wolverine from the MCU universe out of this Wolverine's appearance.
So perhaps like Deadpool 3 isn't necessarily a multiverse movie, but multiverse stuff definitely happens in the movie.
Yeah,
And we get a cameo from an unannounced actor as Wolverine, and then it's like the next Wolverine movie is going to star them.
that's kind of what I'm anticipating. I hear Hugh Jackman's reprising his role as Wolverine, and I come to the same logical conclusion you come to, but in my head, since we both came to that conclusion so quickly, I can only assume somebody over at Disney Incorporate has also thought of this and was like, well, yeah, that's of course he's not going to do this for
Right.
12 years. That's why we've got Jimmy in the back. He's gonna be Wolverine, but he can't just
Jimmy in the back is how we refer to Taron Egerton from movies
yeah.
here in house at Disney. It's like Blue Harvest.
But like you're not just gonna announce. I feel like Disney knows what they're doing more than we give them credit for. I think they know that they can't just replace Wolverine. I think they've got to ease people. They're gonna get so many people through the door saying Hugh Jackman is now Wolverine again that people probably aren't gonna be that upset when because he's already died on screen. You know, that movie's old enough that I can say that. Um, I don't think anybody's expecting any more out. I feel like this is a victory lap, and I feel like everybody knows that. But what's going to happen in
Right.
to
And
which
you're saying that in your opinion you can't see Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine unless this Deadpool 3 movie was uh for the purpose of passing the torch to a different actor.
I can
And
only
you
imagine.
think they're going to do that in a very direct like on camera like
Well,
here's two Wolverines
even if
way.
even if it's not, even if it's after the credit scene or something like that, I feel like this movie is setting up a new in-universe Wolverine one way or another, and I I feel like that's just what Phase 4 and potentially 5 is right now. I feel like everything has a smidge to do with the multiverse, and we're
Right.
learn kind of like the Infinity Stones, how for like 9, 10 years they were just sprinkling information about the Infinity Stones for
Right.
a decade, and then it it all made sense, and it all came.
Starting all the way back in Thor 1.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But then it all came together. It all made sense. We all were on the same page, and it was awesome. I feel like that's
Right.
what's happening with multiverse stuff right now. Is we're getting little sprinkles of stuff. And, do you like this? Do you like how I keep doing this?
I
Uh,
love it. Yeah.
and it'll eventually all make sense. Is what I can only, and I feel like this is part of it. I feel
You
like
know, I didn't consider. I think you bring up a good point because I didn't consider that because you're right. Like,
he is the Wolverine from Deadpool's universe. Whatever Deadpool's universe is,
right,
even if it's the MCU universe, whatever they're going to call it, Hugh
right,
Jackman is his Wolverine.
right,
Doesn't mean he has to be the overarching MCU Wolverine.
right. No, what I meant is like the whole like they're sprinkling multiverse because it really is comparable to
Yeah,
how infrequently they mention Infinity Stones because like WandaVision happens and we see Quicksilver and we're like, oh, is that a multiverse confirmed? And then it's like, oh no, they tricked us, right? And then cut to like Loki, and they literally were like, yeah, multiverse, baby, there it is. But they didn't do anything with that,
right.
right? And now we have, the last 3 or 4 movies dealing with like multiverse fallout, even though his movie was called Multiverse of Madness, there really wasn't like a big huge like like 7 comic book arc
Right,
cataclysmic like multiverse event on the big screen yet.
right. And I
But
feel
it's also an interesting point you bring up like like talking about how like there's just been a lot of like rebirth in Phase 4. There's been a lot of like passing the torch of like there's a new Captain America, there's probably going to be a new Iron Man and a new Black Panther come out of the Black Panther movie.
yeah,
There's a new Hawkeye, Daredevil's literally called Daredevil Born Again.
right, right. That's kind of what I'm saying. I feel like I understand where you're coming from, and I also agree it would be stupid if they were like Wolverine now. See ya. Glad we dusted off Hugh Jackman for that one. Now don't expect to ever get another Wolverine thing out of us. I think they're smarter than that. I think there's some setup. Even if it is Hugh Jackman remains Wolverine for 5 years and then they scramble to think of something else to do with Wolverine, then shame on Disney. But they've got a plan. This isn't going to
Well,
be their only one in the book for a Wolverine.
right. And I think that ties nicely into what Mason said a few minutes ago, which is
Yeah,
I'm so excited for this movie, but oh my god, does it make me feel like the X-Men are even farther away from coming to the MCU? And that was sort of my biggest fear
yeah.
with my video, which is like, okay, Hugh Jackman's done playing Wolverine. Just kidding, we got him to do it again. This time he's going to do it in the MCU. But there's the whole question mark of like, does that mean that a proper X-Men reboot is like 3 phases and 12 full years away,
Well,
or does that mean
yeah.
like or are you doing Chris's thing where it's like, no, we are rebooting the X-Men, we're just doing it like in tandem with like saying so long to the old Fox X-Men?
Well, you actually, that's the perfect sentence for what I'm trying to describe. You nailed it. But even if they are doing my thing, this is this is one they could have been in this movie. Whatever the MCU X-Men are going to look like, this could have been their movie. But
Right.
we're already robbed of a movie that the new X-Men could have been in favor of the old X-Men, which I mean, as somebody who's still yet to see the old X-Men movies, which now that they're like obviously becoming a thing, I really want to get on. Um, I don't have a strong opinion either way, but I'm also seeing it through the lens of I really think Disney's not that dumb. I really think Disney's got a plan because they know Hugh Jackman is not doing this. They know they're not signing a 3 movie deal with Hugh Jackman
Right.
to be Wolverine.
Right.
So I if they don't introduce a new Wolverine or a new X-Men gang out of this Deadpool movie, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what the plan is.
Which, yeah, and I personally think that's probably the feeling we're gonna have after this, where we're like, man, Deadpool 3 was really a good movie, because that's the other thing. I don't doubt this movie's gonna kick ass,
No, it's going to be up.
but I feel like I'm gonna leave that thing and be that movie and be like, all right, well, those were definitely X-Men in an MCU movie, but like, what else?
Right.
What's next? What is happening?
Hopefully, with the addition of She-Hulk, my feet are starting to plant on the ground of Phase 4 MCU. I feel like I'm starting to understand the structure of what this phase was supposed to look like, and
Mm,
it's that we are in a world that's just completely it's what we expected the MCU to be. There's 50 A-list heroes and villains. There's 1,000 B list, and there's 10,000 D list, and they're just it's like the comic books. Everybody's everywhere,
right.
which
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
But it and the multiverse exists, so you can have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and you can have some kid we picked up off the street as Wolverine. Like you can have,
Right.
and it's really keeping us guessing. But like I feel like I'm starting to. I've got MCU Phase 4's number, and I'm like this Deadpool movie. I feel like I figured it out. I've been
Yeah.
lost. I've been lost for 6 TV shows and like 4 movies, but I think I've got it. I think I figured it out.
Well, I just a friendly reminder that Phase 4 is almost over. Black Panther 2 is the end of Phase 4, and
So
then
it's
we're on to
Deadpool Phase 5.
Deadpool is going to be the probably the end of. No, actually, I think Deadpool. No, that's only a year. Yeah, I think Deadpool's mid Phase 5.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Because I know that, because if I remember correctly from Comic Con, everything they've been hinting at and talking about is Phase 5, and then the next 2 Avengers movies that already have titles, those are the only 2 picks confirmed for Phase 6.
so did Phase 4 just not have an Avengers movie?
No, it didn't.
That's so weird. That's why
Phase 4 started with WandaVision, but as we all know, it was supposed to start with Black Widow.
yeah.
And it's going to end with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
That's why I assumed Deadpool was still Phase 4 because every single phase has ended with a Avengers movie. But
Yeah.
whatever, I guess. Well, then Phase 4 was weird. I think I've got Phase 5 is Phase 5.
No, I think Phase 4 being a hilariously like Spider-Man focused phase of like a bridge between what just happened and what's next. I think I don't mind that. I will say, and this is partially COVID's fault, I will say something that I said earlier, and I'm going to reiterate this after this new date drop for Deadpool 3 that I'm supposed to be excited about. Things are moving a little slow for my liking. I know we're back on track now, but I don't know what the plan is. And to your point, at this point in Phase 1, I didn't know what the Phase 3 plan was. But we're 4 phases into this thing that's going to be as many phases as they can make it, you know? So I want to know where it's going, specifically in reference to all the characters that Marvel were able to snag from Fox.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, whether they're pulling them from the back of the, you know, from the back of the, I can't think. Whether they're shitty characters that they've had for a while that they're finally dusting off, or whether they're ones that they just bought from Fox, Phase 4 was too much introduction to new characters. And it felt rushed. They were just like, this is this person, this is this person. And it's like, this isn't Captain America or fucking, you know, like this isn't Superman or somebody like this. Nobody knows who Moon Knight is. Nobody knows
Right.
who Miss Marvel is. Maybe explain it a little bit. I get it. Fucking these comic books have been out forever. If you gave a shit, go read them. I get it, but you can't expect everybody to just be down for whatever kooky character you pull out of the old MCU backlog. Like you gotta finesse us a little bit, and I
And
feel like they've nailed it with She-Hulk.
that's was just gonna say that's what I like about She-Hulk. How last week or 2 weeks ago the fucking the villain, if you will, was like random like dude who just happens to have immortality, who's probably not even from the comics, but and he's probably never gonna make a return in the MCU. It was fun though. His episode was cool, and he got probably like 4.5 minutes of screen time. And
Yeah,
I think that's the perfect chunk for these like Z tier Marvel comic characters.
yeah, no, and I hope it shows in the long run. But like they've clearly been experimenting with these TV shows and
Yeah.
for in general. They the chemistry worked with She-Hulk. It's
Yeah.
all the new stuff that is supposed to make us like uncertain, but like should still feel like home in the MCU. It's being done properly in that series.
Right.
They're making
No,
it.
that series has a lot of that, but it also has a lot of like remember this character?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They've got enough callback stuff being brought in where you still feel like you're in the same universe, but you're getting
Yeah.
introduced to new characters, like 2 or 3 new characters a week, but they don't feel rushed. They feel organic.
Right.
And it's cool, and I care about She-Hulk. She-Hulk, I care about Jen, and I care about She-Hulk.
Mm.
Unlike Moon Knight, that also had two opposing personalities, where I was like, uh, I we'll see what happens, I guess. Now,
Right.
thing though, next Avengers movie or next time these characters get introduced, Moon Knight shows up. I'm not gonna say I won't care about him at all, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna boo when Moon Knight shows up.
right. But She-Hulk shows up, and I'm gonna be like, oh shit, let's
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah. I absolutely. We should move on to the other topic
Yeah,
very shortly, but I absolutely love the scene where I think it's in the trailer, but she turns to the camera and she's like, "This isn't one of those cameo a week type shows."
yeah.
And then she's like, "Well, except for Bruce and Wong and Abomination." Like I just thought that was such a cool. I just thought it wasn't even like haha laugh out loud funny, but it was just like, wow, this show really knows what it's doing.
Yeah, I
and
can't
the
wait
mood
for.
it wants us to be in while we watch it.
I can't
What
wait
it was the
for.
other big
Oh,
pop culture thing that happened?
so the other big pop culture thing that happened is James Earl Jones has retired from being Darth Vader, and he has signed
Yes.
off on all computer analyzed usage of his voice.
Wait,
Hear about that?
he's signed, so it's not you can't do it anymore, or
Oh
you
no,
can do it.
he's given Disney full permission to do it.
Oh,
Darth
okay.
Vader will never die. He's given them
Ooh, I
permission
wonder.
to
I
make
wonder.
his voice over as many times as they want.
I see. So this is just a hard confirmation that yes, the next time Darth Vader shows up, it will be his voice, but not his acting.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how
Which,
deep that contract goes because they keep trying to reboot Lion King.
well, they did, and he was in
No,
it.
I know, but there's like 2 other Lion King movies like in development, and
Uh,
one of them I'm pretty sure is just called Mufasa.
well, from my understanding, I think this is just Darth Vader.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure if they hit him up for Lion King, it'll be him. But here's the thing, and I get it. The dude loves being Darth Vader. He also loves like life, I can only imagine. And
Right.
they want him like every other week to do Darth Vader shit. I'm sure he was like, that's enough. That's enough. Give me some
It's
royalties and let's call it.
it's probably got to be at the point where the Darth Vader voice has been kind of a little bit computer enhanced this whole time and they've been quiet about it, because I'm sure his voice is like,
Right.
he's got an old man voice now, for a
Right.
lack of a better word. It probably sounds a little different now when he voices Darth Vader.
I can only imagine. But then again, Mark Hamill can make they made Mark Hamill sound like his old self, which is
That was actually fucked. I don't know. I don't know if that's just Mark Hamill being a good voice actor or if that was some computer nonsense. That was like actually fucked.
Yeah. But yeah, I can only imagine he's like, I kind of only have one job in my late 80s right now, and I'd really just like to not have to do it every year,
Right.
which I get. Um but also, if you recall back like a year ago on this podcast, I had announced that they had him in the studio doing a bunch of random voiceover work so that in the case something happens, they have a bunch of back cataloged stuff that they could take from that's his voice. So I wonder if they're going to use like a mix of that and this computer tech in like be able to.
Oh yeah, dude. I no, when they said we have him in the studio recording a bunch of stuff, I don't think they had him recording like, these are the lines your character could have. I think he was literally going to a microphone and being like, ah, e, ooh, so that they could ma, b, nah, like, so they could like manipulate his voice
Right.
into real words later, because computers are crazy now.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Which makes sense, and it makes sense that that information came out the way it did, if that was
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah, because that wasn't necessarily like a news story. It was like someone who works sort of at Disney heard that maybe this was happening.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. After watching that ILM documentary, I have such a newfound respect for those people. I mean, like Pixar can fucking suck it.
Wait, what? With what?
Oh no, just tech.
Oh,
Like
oh.
ILM, like, which is funny. It's funny I say that because Pixar like morphed out of ILM, which is funny. But I don't know. These guys, like, I always said like Pixar was the best, you know. I guess they're different. I guess one is live, one's live action CGI, the other one is cartoon CGI, so you can't really make that comparison. But like,
Right.
if any company was gonna make it so that James Earl Jones's voice never dies, it will be Industrial Lights and Magic. They will figure.
Right. I see what you're saying. You have seen computer graphic imaging through the eyes of ILM, and you have a newfound respect for, but also a newfound like, Pixar's got it easy, stuff like that.
Yeah, a little bit, because yeah. You remember how you and I, like a few years ago, were like, "Oh man, movies are getting back to like a fine-tuned mix of puppets and CGI."
Oh yeah.
And that's literally the last couple episodes of Island. There's literally one episode of that documentary where they're like, "Well, everybody in the props department got fired," and they just keep rolling in the computers.
Oh shit.
And then eventually they get to like the Mandalorian and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, we got some of the old geezers back doing what they were doing."
Nice.
And they kicked ass.
Well, yeah, I think we saw the this whole resurgence of like people sort of wanting less CGI, and like, if you can do it practically, do it. People might appreciate that more. I think we saw that came to a head with Rogue One. If you no
Yeah,
with Last Jedi.
Yeah.
If you remember, in Last Jedi, there's a Admiral Akbar alien character who's completely CGI, and people were like, "What the fuck? Do him a puppet, a guy in a costume like
you guys know
Akbar
how
was."
to do that. Yeah, and it's funny too because I would argue that that same series, and maybe you're right, maybe it was Rogue One, but I feel like we also saw the turnaround in Star Wars. We saw it start. We saw the correction, and literally the people at ILM, because they were pulling people from props in stuff, and literally paying to train them in how to do CGI effects, and the people in the department who refused to go over to uh the CGI department, they literally called it the dark side. This
Nice.
um it's a cool documentary. I Of all my friends, I suggest you check it out. I think you would really appreciate it.
I think I definitely will at some point. Apologies if it's like
No,
a full year from now, but
whenever you do.
I'll definitely check it out at some point. It sounds like something I'd really enjoy,
Yeah.
especially since especially being a fan of those corridor crew videos, which is basically people who do CGI
Yeah.
being like, this is probably what behind the scenes look like.
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes over everything, but the first few episodes and the last episode or two, it's Star Wars based. That's what the but that's also what the company was based around, you know.
Right, right, exactly.
But like they go over um Indiana Jones, they go over Back to the Future, they go over Marvel, they go over new Star Wars, they go over Harry Potter slightly.
Yeah.
Um but yeah.
Here's a question: do they ever at all in this documentary talk about Return to Oz?
No, I don't know if that was ILM.
Was it not? I
I
thought it
don't know.
was.
I don't know.
I know it's George Lucas's and Steven Spielberg's money, but I wasn't sure if it
And
was
it's got
ILM
to
or not.
be. It's got to be right. If it's them on a budget and it's George Lucas's company, it's got to be
Right.
ILM.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Um,
No, it wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't Luke. It wasn't George Lucas's company. It was literally just his money. Like
no,
him
I
and.
know, but what
Oh,
I'm saying
okay.
is, if he's putting his own money into it, of course he's going to have his company handle it, right?
Yeah. Possibly. I'm not quite sure,
Um,
but yeah.
yeah, no, it was cool, and like he literally they made Star Wars, and like after that was done, he literally had a contract with the guys at ILM that was like, I'm gonna step away from doing this, but here's a contract. You can't turn down any of my friends if they want to use you. So, um, like Steven Spielberg comes to the door, wants to do Indiana Jones, and they're like, I guess we have to. Um,
Yeah.
so let's do it.
Interesting.
Yes,
Such a weird contract.
Star Wars came out, and like George Lucas stepped back, and immediately Steven Spielberg walked in and was like, "All right, what are we doing?"
Awesome.
Um, yeah, it's cool.
Um. Yes. We have to. That was very interesting. I really like talking about the two things we talked about. We have to end stream.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah,
because it is past 7.
yeah,
Um, but no, that was cool. And I just want to circle back to one thing real quick. I'm excited about Deadpool 3.
yeah.
It's going to be great. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I'm just nervous for all the reasons, all the concerns that we brought up. I hope Chris is right to an extent. I hope they know what they're doing, like Chris said. Um, and I and the end. So thank you for watching. If you're in chat or watching the VOD, that huge paragraph of text that just entered chat is all of our links. The top one is our most important one. That goes to our YouTube channel where we upload daily. And we do actually upload daily. um, Now. We will. There's definitely gonna be a stream Sunday. We just don't know what that'll look like. So tune into that 5 to 7. And then that's gonna be our last stream for a week before Chelsea Mason take over for a bit. While I do a gig in New York. I'm looking over here for some reason. I should be looking over here. But yes, thank you for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a whole live stream that you missed. You could watch this live. You could interact with us. You could join in the conversation like our buddy Mason did. And that's our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Thunder and Lightning Gaming. And if you're watching live, that's the channel you're on right now. So just hit that follow button. And we'll be good to go. But yes, thank you so much for being here. That'll do it for us today. And until next time, which once again will be Sunday at 5. I've been Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
and we'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe.
Our channel has daily uploads from podcast video essays, Let's Plays to skits.
Be sure to watch on Twitch. We stream all our video game and podcast content live at 5 EST every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Our intro is by Brad Kendrick and music by Froggy and the Friendship. Link to all that in the description below.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.